You can throw boom at the same time. As he punches, boom, he go down.
Absolutely.
It's all about moving after you punch. As soon as you punch, you're gone.
I think Gervonta Davis is probably the greatest fighter around now, but he's got a tough fight coming up. You know, he's the top dog. There's no doubt about it. He showed that.
Hey, now if you know what you're looking at, the guy must be around 150 right now, 153, something like that. And you can really tell when he's sideways.
Mike Tyson has finally broken his silence after stepping into the gym with Gervonta Tank Davis ahead of the highly anticipated showdown against Jake Paul, and the boxing world is buzzing. Tyson, who's reportedly been mentoring and observing Tank's training sessions up close, couldn't hide his excitement over the champion's new form. Davis has returned to the ring, looking more dangerous than ever, sporting a noticeably bulked-up physique that has stunned fans and analysts alike. With thicker arms, a more defined upper body, and explosive speed intact, Tank's transformation shows he's taking this fight very seriously.
You can't really tell, but when he turns sideways, the guy is a wrecking ball. He's literally a baby rhino out there. And I think that is the idea for him to bulk up and be a little powerhouse out there, and I'm all for it. I'm going to tell you in this video why I think that's the best thing for Tank and why I think he will be knocking on 160 pounds. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to be showing you guys another workout of mine. Let me be absolutely clear with this, all right? I'm not trying to say that I'm a great fighter. I'm not trying to say that I'm better than you. We all know, Lord knows, that all you guys in the comments are Olympic gold medalists. You guys are fantastic fighters, and I can't come close to the level of great technique and great fighting that you are. I'm just working out, all right? And I was definitely trying to hit the bag as hard as I can. I was really working on my hooks more than anything. Now listen, I know that I'm trash, all right? So, you know, just look at it and be like, okay, showbiz trash or whatever. Or if you want to be inspired and you're on a journey like I am, I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to not look like I'm 45 out here, all right, other than the gray and the beard, all right? If you get inspired, please let me know in the comments. Other than that, all you Olympic gold medalists out there, I'm nowhere on your level, all right? But if you want to see it, it's going to be at the end of this video. Now, Gervonta Tank Davis. Listen, the reason why I think he will be knocking on 160 pounds is because I think that's his walking around weight. And I have receipts for all this shit. You guys remember, what, 4 or 5 years ago where he missed weight against Gamboa?
Mike Tyson recently revealed that he's leaning slightly toward Davis in the next fight against Jake Paul, and his reasoning comes down to pure punching skill. After spending time training with Davis, Tyson said he was impressed by Tank's explosive power, precise timing, and ability to generate knockout force from any angle. Tank's punches are different. They've got that real snap, that old-school power, Tyson reportedly said. He added that while Jake Paul has shown improvement in discipline, his instincts and ring IQ give him the edge. Tyson believes that if Tank stays focused and channels his aggression properly, his superior punching technique could make the difference when the two finally step into the ring. During his conversation with Mike Tyson, ESPN's Stephen A. Smith didn't mince words about what Davis needs to do to secure victory against Jake Paul. He believes a knockout is the only way. Smith emphasized that with Jake Paul's growing fan base, promotional backing, and the spectacle surrounding the fight, Tank can't afford to let it go to the judges. Tyson nodded in agreement, noting that he's seen fighters lose close decisions before simply because they didn't finish strong. Tyson himself added fuel to the hype when he boldly claimed that Davis could be the next version of him, a modern-day Iron Mike built for destruction. After training sessions and watching Tank's focus in the gym, Tyson said he sees shades of his younger self in the undefeated lightweight star.
Be the pick against Davis. What are your thoughts about this upcoming fight?
See, I kind of lean towards Davis a little because of his style of fighting and what makes him different than most fighters that I once did is when he punches, he catapults himself in the air. And normally in the air, you're out of position, you have no leverage. But for some reason, myself and Mr. Davis, our best point is when we're leaping in the air. Like being catapulted to punch up, because he's not much of a guy that punches down, as we saw with Pitbull Cruz. So what's his name? Pitbull Cruz gave him his hardest fight, but
Right.
he was a very aggressive guy, not like Ryan is.
Yeah, you talk about Isaac Cruz. Definitely, he gave it an aggressive fight.
Yes.
But I thought that particular fight, Gervonta showed me boxing skills that I didn't even realize he had because, Pitbull comes at you and he's very good defensively, so he covers himself well. But I thought Gervonta did a great job boxing in that particular fight. Here's what I think. I think this is the kind of fight Gervonta Davis is going to have to get the knockout because Ryan Garcia is taller. Obviously, he's fighting at a catch weight with that dehydration clause and all of this stuff, but he's longer, he's taller, he's got a jab, he uses it to avoid that power that Gervonta Davis is going to give him. He wins the fight. I think the only way for Gervonta to beat him is to knock him out. To that, you say what?
I believe he can beat him if it goes the distance as well.
You think Gervonta can beat him if he goes the distance?
He's going to win the fight, yes.
So you got him winning this fight?
Yes, I do.
Nakisa Badarian, Jake Paul's business partner and co-promoter, recently admitted that while Jake holds a clear advantage in size and weight, he can never truly match Davis's experience in the ring. Badarian acknowledged that Tank has spent his entire life in boxing gyms, mastering timing, distance, and power against elite-level opponents, something Jake is still learning. Badarian said Jake's bigger and stronger physically, but Tank's been fighting since childhood. His instincts and fight IQ are on another level. He added that even though Jake's dedication and training have earned respect, experience is something that can't be taught overnight.
Z and Gen Alpha, they are the two biggest boxers in America, and they are putting it all on the line. One has the speed, the skill, the accuracy, and the one-punch knockout power. The other has the size, the force, and the unbreakable confidence to make this must-see Netflix. The size difference is obvious, but so is the skill and experience difference. One man has been doing this for 23 years, since the age of 7. The other picked up the sport 5 years ago and has virtually no amateur experience. So the size difference is what makes this plausible. The king of the jungle here is Tank Davis. He is the lion taking on the young elephant that is Jake Paul. The lion is looking at me like he's about to eat me. The lion is fast, he's fierce, and he's fatal when he strikes. But the young elephant is big, powerful, and hard to knock down. And come Friday, November 14th, the jungle will be set in tropical Miami, Florida, and the world will be watching live on Netflix globally to see who the victor will be. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, there will be a victor because the fighters have agreed and the commission has approved a maximum weight of 195 pounds for this exhibition. The fight will be contested over 10 3-minute rounds. The fight is 195 pounds, Tank, as you know. The fight will be contested over 10 3-minute rounds, and when Tank and Jake enter the squared circle to go to battle, they will be wearing 12-ounce gloves.
Badarian has confidently addressed concerns about Jake Paul's physical advantage over Gervonta Davis. He insists size won't be decisive against a fighter like Davis, pointing out that Paul only needed the heavier catch weight because he's comparatively inexperienced. Badarian further revealed that the Paul versus Davis matchup wasn't a snap decision. It was always in the works after a planned bout with Canelo Alvarez fell through. He claims Davis had been pushing for the fight for years, and once the Canelo deal collapsed, the path to Tank was clear.
Jake and Tank are going to happen November 14th.
Whatever weight they want, man, they're talking about it, and whatever it is, there's going to be a definitive outcome. People can talk about pro, exhibition. We're going to make sure this is as real as it's real.
Why was it, just out of curiosity, why is it not a professional bout and why is it an exhibition? Because I'm sure Jake would have taken the professional bout.
Nothing's been communicated as yet in terms of what it is, right? Similar to, if you remember, with Paul Tyson, when we announced it, we didn't have the weight, we didn't have the rules, particularly in terms of the number of rounds, the minutes, the gloves. It's going to be the same thing here.
Gotcha. Can you just offer us any insight as to how these negotiations went? And the reason I ask is because I remember back in March, I was at Tank's fight. And after his fight in his press conference, he was asked, next opponent. He said, well, my next opponent might have been in my locker room tonight. And people asked him, was it Jake? He made reference, he made allusion to. Has this been an ongoing thing? And has it ever, been at a point where it wasn't going to happen and came back? Or was this always the plan?
Always been the plan for Jake to fight Tank once Canelo didn't happen. And to Tank's credit, he's a real bad dude, and he's been calling out Jake for 3 years. And people, it's funny how now they're saying size matters, Jake is big, when for so long it's been Tank would kill Jake Paul. Now you get to see if that's real.
Despite Davis's superior skill, Froch warned that Paul's size and atypical power present a serious threat to Davis. Won't be used to being hit like that. Froch's concerns reflect widespread unease within boxing circles. This is seen less as a competitive bout and more as a freak show, with legitimacy and fighter safety in question.
Just here at Los Naranjos in Viva, España, and I found out that Gervonta Davis is now fighting Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think. But the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode. But I hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, I just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in, and I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf, and I can't. I've got to get it off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share, and subscribe to the best channel in the business, Froch on Fighting, and we'll see you very soon.
Ryan Garcia harshly criticized the matchup, questioning its legitimacy and calling the idea completely insane. He argued that modern boxing is losing its credibility and compared the sport to professional wrestling, saying it now resembles WWE more than a serious competition. According to Garcia, such matchups damage boxing's integrity, making it harder for fans to take the sport seriously. In his words, boxing is officially the WWE.
Today we're going to talk about the boxing world and another fight that Jake Paul just booked for his joke of a career against a 65-plus smaller guy than him in Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul is a circus sideshow for low IQ incels. Nobody should be falling for this carny bullshit about him being a real fighter. Gervonta is a million times better than him, so he has to handicap Gervonta's skill by being a giant lab rat with a 65-plus weight advantage over him. This is a joke. This is a mockery to the sport of fighting. The best are supposed to fight the best. Why is he fighting a guy that's, in his last fight, Mike Tyson, who, he's got a 40-year age gap between them? Why are you fighting a guy that should be in line for, the early bird special, not fighting in a boxing ring and Mike Tyson? Now you're fighting a guy who is, tiny. He's a 130-pound fighter. You fight in the 210, 210, 220 weight range. So, this is another joke. In Jake Paul's career, he claims to want to be a real fighter, but he's not taking the real steps to be real fighters and fighting top 10 guys and fighting the best guys in the world. He fights these circus sideshows against guys that have no business being in there against him. So I guess this is the state of boxing. It's dead. UFC took over, and this is what you get now. You get this YouTuber who is on Lizzie McGuire, and he wants to claim to be a real fighter, but he doesn't want to fight real fighters. So, I think it's ironic, though. Why would he hire a lawyer to sue people that say that his fights are fixed if they weren't? Allegedly. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. You guys do the math. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Promoter Eddie Hearn has starkly cautioned Paul about the dangers of fighting Davis. Hearn warned Paul could suffer serious, even devastating consequences. Be careful what you wish for. Hearn deems the bout a mismatch, raising concerns over Paul's safety despite the match's massive commercial appeal. While he rates the fight's chances as 50-50, his underlying message is clear in this fight. Paul risks far more than just his record. In Hearn's view, his well-being is on the line.
We know that Gervonta is going to fight Jake Paul in November, and then we'll see what happens if there's an AJ fight. Be interested to go from Gervonta Davis to Anthony Joshua, but I don't think the Chavez fight is terrible. I think it's a smart bit of business.
Meanwhile, Jake Paul is not coming slow. He has ramped up the stakes by declaring he'll deliver the knockout of the year when he faces Gervonta Davis. He's clearly not treating this as just another fight. He wants a highlight that dominates headlines. His public statements suggest he sees this bout as a chance to validate himself, shock skeptics, and create a moment that can't be ignored in boxing lore. By aiming for the biggest knockout, Paul is betting not just on power, but on showmanship, pushing the idea that this clash is about more than victory.
Fighters, because this thing is going to be watched by hundreds of millions globally. Jake, give the people one thing that you can guarantee that they're going to get on November 14th when they tune in to Netflix.
Yeah, you're going to see the two biggest fighters in America go head-to-head with an amazing card, world championship fights back-to-back-to-back, and that's just how the MVP way we do it, and I'm going to come for a knockout of the year again. I've seen it in my visions. I've seen it in my manifestation. I'm sleeping this guy and going to create the most viral knockout ever.
Many boxing fans online are accusing Davis